Aloha, my name is Kaliko Castile. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Out here walking my dog. And really appreciate you clicking on this video for a second. I wanted to chat with you about something that I've got coming up. But first, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. So, about 10 years ago, in 2014, I had to close down a dispensary that I had been running for about 8 months out here in Portland, Oregon. It was called Brightside. We had originally opened in September of 2013 after the passage of HB 3460 here in Oregon, which legalized medical dispensaries. And, we were really successful. And for those 8 months, we were very prominent, and people all over Portland were paying attention to what we were doing. And that we even had competitors who were much more successful in the marketplace and who had been around for a long time, really paying attention to what we were doing and truly biting our style. And a lot of the ways we were able to do that and sort of build up a brand for ourselves was by marketing online. It was something that a lot of dispensaries weren't doing at the time. Instagram wasn't quite shutting down dispensaries at that time, but we were openly posting about products and sales and those sort of things and not getting shut down. So we were able to get a lot of organic reach and engagement through those channels. And I learned a lot about content marketing during that time when I was running the dispensary, even though it was only 8 months. And, about a year later after our dispensary closed, I was knocking doors for political campaigns, just doing odds and ends jobs, trimming for a couple of my grower buddies out here in Oregon, whatever I had to do to pay bills after the dispensary closed. And, one day I got to a point where I decided I was going to go apply for a serving job at McGrath's Fish House here in Milwaukee, Oregon, where a bunch of my friends from high school had been working, because they all made really good money and they all had just really stable jobs and enjoyed themselves and had, were able to save up. And so it got to a point where after being with my now wife, then girlfriend, who I had met during the time that we had Brightside open, we were living together at the time, and she was basically, holding me accountable for just kind of moping around for the year after the dispensary closed. And so I decided I was going to go get a job. And I was chatting with one of my friends, Jeff White, who is now one of my partners at Thunderstorm Strategy, and was somebody who had, with his partner and one of my other partners, Chris, had started one of the largest websites devoted to cannabis, to marijuana, in the country. It was number one in the entire U.S., so it had more page views per month, individual visitors per month, than even Weed Maps, Leafly, High Times. A lot of these are really big websites that were huge back in the early 2010s, right? And now a lot of them have fallen off, but they were huge back then. And these two dudes who started this website on their couch as a way to fight back against prohibition, they actually beat out all these heavyweights just by themselves. And so, I knew that these guys were running a really awesome website. And, one day when I called Jeff, told him that I was heading over to McGrath's literally to go turn in an application and ask for an interview because some of my buddies were gonna hook it up with their hiring manager. He said, "Hey, come by. Let's hang out for a little bit. Let's smoke and let's chat." And so I went over there, and I call that the fateful smoke session, where him and I got to hang out. And it was the first day that I learned what a CPM was, cost per milli, or cost per thousand impressions. And it was then that I got to understand what SEO meant, search engine optimization, and what you could do with just putting out organic content online, which these guys had been doing for, at that point, 4 years, and were cresting to become one of the number one websites in cannabis. And so I went over there and chat with him, and he told me, "Hey, you should not go do that interview with McGrath's. You should actually just come work for us and sell ads." And that was the beginning of a big journey of, during the next 10 months, I nickel and dimed my way to over $100,000 in revenue for the website, and had put them on pace to potentially get some investments. Ultimately, it didn't work out with a third partner that they had, and so they left the site, but that was my sort of opening up into what it was like, what it could be to be doing digital marketing in cannabis. And so, I've now been on that journey for 10 years. Since then, I've ran a political action committee raising money for an initiative here in Oregon. We managed to raise the polling on that initiative by 10%. I went on to become director of marketing and head of growth for the National Cannabis Industry Association, which is the longest running trade association dedicated to the cannabis industry. And during my time there, I led a team of 8 people and helped lead that organization to its single largest one-year growth in membership in their 10-year history. And just wrapped up my time with 3 years as the president of the board for the Minority Cannabis Business Association, where we just last year won Trade Association of the Year at the inaugural MJ Awards for MJ BizCon. And all of these things that I've been able to do over the last 10 years really comes down to my understanding of organic content marketing and using it for digital organizing, right? And so I think a lot of people think about digital marketing in sort of traditional ways, and I'm someone who I didn't graduate from college. I started a political action committee and dropped out in 2012 because legalization was happening. But I think of marketing as organizing because I come from a political background. I wanted to get into politics before I got into cannabis, and it was being able to organize online that really opened my eyes to the power of content and the power of doing organic content. So that's why I'm really excited to be bringing you guys an opportunity here where I've distilled down all the things I've learned over 13 years in this industry into 5 days. So I'm launching a 5-day live training course called Weed Doesn't Sell Itself. And you're going to learn basically everything that I've learned over the last 13 years. And it's going to help you not only just ultimately sell more cannabis or sell more products, but it's going to help you build more genuine relationships with your customers and with your community. And I think a lot of people in the cannabis industry see all these headlines about the green rush, and they think this is going to be just another industry where you kind of set it and forget it. You just push a button and people buy weed. And it's going to be that easy. But I think a lot of people are finding, especially in the older markets like California, Oregon, out here on the West Coast, that it's a lot tougher than that. And, even though we have the Schedule 3 announcement recently from the DEA, it could be another 10 years before we see federal prohibition fall, another 2 administrations. And I think it's really important for folks to understand that, if you're in this industry, you got to be in it for the long haul, and you got to have a game plan for sustainable growth. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think a lot of people in these older markets who expected to see federal prohibition fall earlier are finding that these siloed marketplaces are really tough. And until we truly have a national marketplace, there's going to be a lot of people who are struggling. And we're kind of holding back this hole in the dam with a finger. And eventually we're going to be overpowered, and the deck will get reshuffled. And so what I want to do is empower small dispensary owners the ability to build a brand. And when I say that, I mean build relationships with your community and with your potential customers, so that you have a loyal fan base, and that every time you put something out, they're going to come support you. And I think that's what you can do with organic content marketing that truly defines who your audience is, and truly make sure that you are providing value for all of them in a way that's beyond just cannabis, right? We're at the beginning of a industry right now where no matter what you do, you're in the education business. And what I can help you do is identify the storylines inside of your business so that you can tell these stories in a way that connects emotionally with your audience. so that you can actually have organic engagement online. I think you can find a lot of these courses out there that are going to sell you on the idea of a formula that's going to make you go viral, and there are definitely ways that you can, growth hack and look at what's out there and what's successful, and I'm going to teach you some of those strategies in this course. But what I think is most important is to have the mindset of understanding how to create organic content that's valuable, that tells your story, that tells other stories, but ultimately that your customers see in themselves and put you out as a resource. As we're all in the education business, it means most people don't know what THC means. They don't know what CBD means. They don't know what a terpene is, right? These are all very basic things that still need to be taught to our customer base. And if you're the one who's teaching them, they're going to forever be indebted to you, and they're going to trace that knowledge back to you, right? And that's what I want to do, is help you identify the ways in which you can become an educational resource and set yourself apart to where you're not just the cheapest weed on the street. You got to be able to provide more value for your customers than that. And I think most people, that's what they think is this game. They think you got to have the cheapest, highest potency product. And I'm here to tell you that's not the truth. That you need to be able to tell the stories. Sun-grown weed can sell just as good as indoor weed, but you got to be able to tell the story about why it's different, why you take better care, why sun-grown is going to give you a different spectrum of cannabinoid profiles than indoors, right? These are all things that your customers don't know, but we all forget that they don't know, because we all live in the industry. It's really easy to get caught up in all the things we do know, but it's really important that we tell people what they don't know, right? So I'm here to give you guys an offer. You guys have clicked on this video and watched long enough, but we're launching a 5-day training series called Weed Doesn't Sell Itself today. And folks who sign up in the first week are going to get an exclusive discount. It's going to be $99, marked down from $150. When after this week, it's going to be $149. And I'll just caveat to say that this it'll never be cheaper. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm doing it cheap so that I can get people to sign up and give me some testimonials. And over time, this price is going to go up. These 5 modules are going to sort of encapsulate everything that I do for my clients on a daily basis. So, this is something that people pay thousands of dollars a month to get access to and to learn from. But this is something I'm making available for folks for under $100 this week. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, please click the link below, save your seat, buy a ticket, tell your friends about it. But this is really meant for dispensary owners, who know they need to be doing stuff online but aren't sure how. For folks who have gotten shut down by Instagram and Meta and are tired of dealing with all of that BS. I can help you find other ways and other channels that you own that you're not going to get shut down on. This is for agency owners who maybe are coming from other industries and have started working with dispensary owners or with cannabis clients, but don't quite understand the rules of the road. This is for nonprofit trade associations who work with cannabis companies who are trying to get their story out there and build a larger membership so that they can better serve the industry. So there's a lot of people that this training will be for, and that people will find value from. And so I really do hope that you guys will take a look at it. I have down below all of the modules that we'll be doing. There's 5 different ones, including one that I'm really excited about, the future of cannabis marketing and AI technology, because I think it's really important through this AI revolution that cannabis marketers are preparing themselves, and that dispensary owners are figuring out how can you utilize AI inside of your operations, specifically to marketing. So please click the link below if you guys are interested. Like I said, it's never going to be cheaper. $99 just for this week alone. It's going to go up to $149 next week. And then we have a VIP package that I think actually has a lot of value. From a dollars and cents, it's like $2,800 in value. We're going to sell it for $399, and for this week only, it's going to be $299. But you're going to get a bunch of extras, a bunch of freebies built into it. So you're going to get access to a bunch of templates that I use for my clients. Things like my content calendar, that basically you can plug in and it's really just build out your content in a way that's strategic, to make sure you're reaching all of your goals and really targeting specific audiences. You're also going to get access to a really cool thing that I put together, which was a trained mini chat GPT, which is cannabis specific. And good morning. It's cannabis specific. It's called Cannabis CMO, just like the training series in the newsletter. And that is actually programmed to have all of the state regulations from around the country as it relates to marketing built into it. So you'll be able to actually use it to build compliant marketing. And I think this is something that is super exciting. And for folks who maybe don't have a really large team, don't have a legal team to be running all of your posts through, and like I said, have been shut down by Instagram, this is going to actually have those regulations built into it. It's also got a bunch of best practices built into it. So I'm training it up on the best practices for each of the different platforms, so that when you ask it for content specific for a platform, that it understands those nuances, right? And those are one of the things that I'm going to teach you in this training course, is like the differences between each platform and why you want to post different types of content for different types of platforms, right? So this mini GPT is going to be accessed only for the VIP members. You're going to get a bunch of other downloadable documents that are going to be really helpful for you as you start to build out a strong content marketing strategy for your cannabis business. So, like I said, we're going to be launching this. We're launching the registration today. It is opening today. It's only going to be open for this special exclusive offer for 5 days. And then after that, we are going to close it off, and it's going to go to $399 for the VIP pass and $149 for the general admission pass. So make sure that you click below today, take action, let me help you, because I'm really excited. And like I said, this is something that I understand wholeheartedly, because I've been through this. I've opened a dispensary and closed a dispensary, so I understand the heartache that comes with not getting the success that you want to have. And even though we were successful in terms of our prominence, we ultimately had to close because of regulatory sort of stuff. But that is, the emotion is very much what I do understand, right? So please click the link below. I look forward to seeing you guys on the training. It's going to be 5 days with me, 90-minute sessions, 60 minutes of instruction, and then 30 minutes Q&A. Really an opportunity for you guys to pick my brain and for us to jam about what it's like to market in the cannabis industry, because I think it's a really unique opportunity for us to be building these brands at this time. And I think that it's really important that people understand that weed doesn't sell itself. We do.